together from there. So it's something that people talk about, you know.
One of my favorite exchanges in the whole season is when we reveal the kill. Oh no, never mind. No, is when you talk to Archie about his like assumption that he should be able to perform.
Yeah, and it's easy for people to just blanket that as, oh, it's the black character that the network casts and she's going to talk about black problems. And it's so much more than that. It has to do with equality even just among sexes. It has to do with people feeling like they can come into something with no notion or no drive at all and ask someone who actually does love it, can you help me do this thing because I really like it and I think I should? That's all.
I mean, I would say that if any group is treated unfairly on this show, you know where I'm going.
Who?
It is natural redheads.
We had tons of in the pilot. There were tons of
I had to monitor.
And Sarah was like, "Listen, there are 11 ginger jokes in this pilot.
Like,
it's just not right. It's just not right." And it's like, you know, as a natural redhead, no one uses that word. I was like, okay, no, yeah. So absolutely.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah.
Ginger strong.
Yeah. We gotta stick together.
You get teased about it now?
Ginger struggle.
Nah, you're fine. You're fine. Other questions that aren't going to be from the third row. There's a hand in the back there.
Very back.
Way at the back.
I see you.
There's two.
Way back there.
And then Superman has a question too.
Yeah, the guy in the blue shirt. Yeah.
Hi, my question is for Cole. Is there a character besides Jughead that you identify with more personally than your own?
That is a good question.
Yeah, probably Fred. Just a father of one who's trying to make it in the world, trying to keep his job afloat while simultaneously trying to keep his son grounded.
I thought you were going to say Miss Grundy.
Yeah. I think the danger and sort of the beauty of father-son representation is that I really feel like I identify with Skeet's character. I feel like I identify with FP, and you know that's because as the sort of season has gone on, the way we've been explaining tragedy and justification for wrongdoing is coming from a place that's real and struggling, and so Jughead is coming from this sort of economically depraved place where he and his family have been going through hardships, and so the choices that ultimately FP makes are ones that are grounded in sort of a justification for Jughead's lifestyle, a psychology that comes from things that Jughead could probably understand as well. So I think, yeah, probably FP.
What he's not admitting is that I find Cole dressing in Alice Cooper clothes all the time. It's okay.
What I'm not admitting is that I know that you're there.
Oh, it's about
Well
that
done.
hour.
Good job.
Well done.
It's about
Getting late.
That was great.
It's getting really hot out here.
There's a gentleman who's wearing a Superman T-shirt, which is technically on the CW in some form or fashion.
He wants it pretty bad, so let's give it to him. There you go.
It's my S shirt, just like what Jughead wears. Just a little different way. This question
is your question for Cole?
No, it's actually for Camille and to a lesser extent Casey. Riverdale is a bit of like a insane town, like generations-long blood feud around the maple syrup business, weird town. And you two seem to have the most outsider approach to those scenes. I was wondering how you decided how much you'd buy into the rules of the town, how much you'd buy into their own drama.
Honestly, I think Veronica's a little shook.
I feel like you guys are like the common sense, like this.
Yeah, we're
town is
always
so
calling people
strange.
out for the weird things that they do in Riverdale. But then again, they get sucked into it time and time again. And Veronica, especially in the last 3 episodes, I feel like gets sucked into it. No offense, Kevin.
None taken.
And yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
No, there was a complete sentence.
There was a complete sentence in there somewhere.
Honey, I'm
Right?
with you.
What about maple syrup drama's not realistic?
What are you trying to say?
Excuse me, there actually is a maple syrup mafia
For
in Canada.
sure.
What?
Yeah.
There's a
Vice just did a big story about it. Yeah.
It's the Hudson
But I will tell you that for the past year and a half, whenever Roberto, you're so good, like, telling stories, so dramatic, but he'll be like, and then the maple syrup. And I'm like,
And we definitely had to provide documentation that it was a real thing to every executive. It's like, maple syrup, really?
It's that big, yeah.
That's amazing.
And did they buy it?
They did. They did.
They're very brave
They
for
are.
buying that.
We have another one in.
We have another question up the back here.
Am I going to study music with Ms. Grundy? Yes, I am. Yeah. Fred has got a little music in him.
He's got a little crush on Miss Grundy.
A little bit.
Hold up. Okay, is Miss Grundy coming back?
I hope so. To teach me piano? What are you talking about?
everyone
You hope
loves
so?
her.
I love it to come out.
You love Sarah.
The actress who plays her is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes. And there might be a little more to tell in that story.
Well, they're
No one
definitely
needs
a
to play
flashback.
it.
Come on.
Yeah.
Can't you see Fred playing chopsticks? Miss Grundy, ding, 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 ding.
Okay, your question, please.
Well, my question's actually mainly for Luke. With all of the young actors up and coming and hitting this big amount of fame with the success of this show, I want to imagine that must be really intense and crazy and fun, but probably really bananas. And I know you went through that probably as more intense as anyone possibly could. Do you ever give them advice of how to handle the insanity of it
Was
all?
he on something before?
I heard he was on something.
You're confusing Luke Perry with someone else.
If they ever get famous, I'll let them know. I will.
Drop the mic.
So would the advice be don't mess with the master?
I guess. Stick around.
The problem is we don't take it. That's why he's surly.
And kidding aside, Luke, I vividly, like, towards the end of the season, Luke called me and he's like, Roberto, KJ's really, really sick. He won't tell you. He won't see a doctor. Please call him.
KJ, you're in Canada. Why wouldn't you see a doctor?
A doctor. So he does look out for the kids, as all of the adults too. I've gotten calls from Machen as well. So they really have taken the kids under their wings.
Luke and my dad text like every day. He talks to my dad more than me.
Really? You okay with that?
It's kind of weird, actually.
Now you say it, you have to admit it's kind of weird, right?
No, it's good. It's good.
But I know that, I mean, obviously when people watch the show, that's something that comes to mind because they know you guys from past shows, and they see you guys, and those relationships, and there's little in-jokes that some of us know and some of us don't, but I think that it's so incredible how, I just being a little bit of time with you guys, you're so supportive of each other. Yeah.
Oh,
that's great.
That's the trick. We're all pretty far from home up there, and we're up there for a long time, and we got each other to depend on.
But it's rare that this happens, I'm going to say. I've been on a lot of shows, and to have just natural chemistry and bond that happens right away is really, really rare.
You're not going to name any names, are you?
No.
No, we got chemistry, we got biology, we got a lot of it going on.
All right. Okay. I'm just going to go back to this.
Yeah, all right.
Just going back to this.
Ink on skin. We have time for a couple more questions. There's a lady here with sunglasses on.
Lovely young lady.
On your head.
Not in the third row, but you get to ask a question. Mike's going to be passed to you.
From John Wareham, thank you.
Yeah. Who went to school with Luke.
Hi, how are you guys?
Please stand up.
Okay. My question's for Casey, and I was just wondering what your stance is on the whole strongest parent-kid relationship, because I personally love the Sheriff Keller and Kevin relationship.
I'm glad. Actually, I didn't really get to answer your Super S-Man's question either.
Okay.
I think that the relationship between my dad and me in the show is super interesting and complicated because the sheriff is obviously trying to solve this murder, and my loyalty lies with family's a huge theme within the show, and my loyalty lies with him, yet all these kids are trying to solve this murder along with me, and it creates a conflict of interest. And I think that's the reason why Kevin a lot of times is just like, I don't know, like hands off. But I think the relationship between my dad and I, specifically in episode 4, is shown to be a wildly supportive, not fully understanding, but blindly supporting with kindness and love. And he tries to, in his own comical way, protect Kevin. which I really enjoy. So I love that relationship. And with that, it's definitely the icing on the cake of all the other ones. So I would say,
Shade.
I'd say that answer probably makes me the winner, right?
I love where they picked that up, where there was never any big moment of let's talk about Kevin's gay character. It's just Martin just rolls with it, and that's their relationship.
And Martin's a great actor and a great guy.
That was a real conscious decision. I mean, we talked about every way that relationship could exist, and it felt like the freshest and realist and kind of most idyllic and realistic.
And Martin's not here, but he is such a fine actor.
Yeah,
he's a great actor.
When you see them in those scenes together, you see that love. It's so great.
That's definitely something I'm really excited to explore more in season 2.
Okay, you got it.
Roberto, he drove to Pittsburgh. Give him more. I mean, that counts for a lot.
That was
never going to forget that.
Another really early thing was we didn't want to see.
When I review season 2, I'm like, this is all great, but look, he drove to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's true.
We have time for one more question. There's a lady here. I think you're wearing like a yellow shirt, or I can't quite see.
Looks like a Riverdale.
Oh my God, I would love to have planted that question.
Jughead's here too.
Double trouble.
And there's a Josie over here. Did you see Josie too?
What? Where? Right here.
I've been seeing cat ears everywhere.
What up, girl?
Oh, wow. Everywhere I go. Go on.
Hi, so my question's mainly for the creative team, but if actors want to chime in, that's fine too. Did you know who the killer was from the beginning, or is it something that happened along the way? And actors
they
that it
because they all have
influenced?
loose lips.
You know, really early on, about kind of like 3 weeks into the writers' room, we went in and pitched season 1, and before we went in, everyone was like, "You cannot go into that pitch without telling them who killed Jason Blossom." And I think we talked. I think we had maybe like three possible suspects, and we kind of talked about how each of those 3 might end up being the killer.
That's what we did.
Is that true?
Yes.
And one of those people that we talked about in that first pitch is the killer. But you know, story develops and things like that. But yeah, very early on we did, and it was helpful.
It's more fun too if you have multiple people that could be the killer.
Yeah.
We had no clue.
No.
We
found out.
No, like
John,
a couple
do you know who it
people
is?
guessed.
I do,
but
as a matter of fact.
John knows everything.
I will not reveal.
I just want to say it's been good to be here. Thank you.
You put your hand up a while ago. People know.
Thank you for your work on the show, Liz.
It was great.
Yeah, it was great.
It was great.
Hashtag Fred's dead.
yeah.
Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. We really appreciate the cast and creators of Riverdale.
Well done, young man.
Thank you, my friend.
Sorry, I got out of your way.